Alright, so you should have your master sketch done. So what we're going to do is we're going to create several different parts in the Part Studio based off this master sketch, and then we can create an assembly with that. So let me go ahead and get started by extruding this section here. So go ahead and extrude everything by 5 millimeters. So let's create, we'll call this large arm. Now let's create the small arm by extruding it in the opposite direction. So So let's go ahead and move it this way by 5 millimeters. And make sure that you select new part. And we'll call this small arm. Alright, so once you have your small arm and large arm, what you want to do is you want to let's go ahead and create a sketch on both of these. So I'm going to go ahead and start my sketch. I'm going to sketch right here. And I'm going to create a box. Let me go ahead and make sure that it's selected from the center point. Now in this box you want to make sure that both the length and width are equal, and the distance from this box or the square to the construction line is 1 millimeter. So let's go ahead and create a point on the square, and let's make sure that this point is a midpoint. So I'm going to select the line, then the point, to ensure that it's directly in the middle. Let me go ahead and create a line that is 10 millimeters. And so let's go ahead and ensure that these two side lengths are equal to each other. I don't know the length of this side, but I don't think it matters at this moment. And the last thing we're missing is this circle here. So we need to create a circle. So I'll just go ahead and use the project. So let's use the projection of this circle. Alright, so you notice now it's highlighted, it's bolden, so we're good to go. Alright, let me double check if everything is good. I see. So this length here should be 10 millimeters as well. And this should be a construction line. So let's make sure that's a construction line. Alright, so I think we're good to go. So then let's go ahead and finish the sketch. And let's recreate that same sketch down below. So let me sketch on this plane here. And I'm going to create the exact same rectangle. So I'm going to make sure that these two, well, this is equal to this, and this is equal to that, so we're good to go. So same thing, let's create a point and ensure that it is a midpoint. create a line that's 10 millimeters. And so make sure that this is a construction line. And let's go ahead and ensure that these two segments are equal to one another. I'm not sure why that disappeared. Let's do that again. This is equal to that, which is equal to this. Let me just go ahead and fix the length here. Alright, something's wrong. Let me check this. There it goes. Alright, so now we're good. I think we just need this circle here. So let me use this projection. And we're good. Alright, so now we have our master sketch, and along with that we have two other sketches. So the top sketch, I'm going to call that large grip sketch. I don't think that's what they call it in the directions, but I'm going to call it small grip sketch. Alright, so let's see what the next step is. Alright, let's go ahead and create an offset plane. It's going to be offset in this plane, in this direction, 25 millimeters. And so now let's go ahead and create the pins that we need. So we need 2 pins for the large. Alright, so I'm not going to follow the instructions that are provided. I'm going to just go ahead and do it a different way. But I'm going to start by creating a sketch. Scratch that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to extrude this section and this section. And I'm going to extrude it to the face. So I'm going to go up to face. I'm going to select the plane that I just created, and I'm going to go ahead and click on New. Then I'm going to click OK. So the new parts that were created this is the pivot pin. So I'm going to rename this as pivot pin. Let me rename this one. I'm going to call it large pin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this portion out to this face. And I'm going to add it to large pin. And then over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to extrude this portion out to this face, and I'm going to add it to the pivot pin. Alright, so let me check out what's going on here. Let me hide this sketch. I'm going to hide the small pin, hide the large pin, I see. So I made an error. The large pin and small pin, these two, let's go back to the extrusion here. Maybe I can edit that. To do so, I need to unselect that. I need to include that portion. And this portion. Let me just add an extrusion. There, there. I'll do up to face. Click that face. I'm going to add it to this existing part. That's good. There you go. Alright, so let me extrude it to this face. Then I'm going to add it to the pivot pin, which is that it's already selected, so I'm good to go. Alright, cool. So I got my pivot pin, and I got my pivot pin and my large pin. Let me hide that real quick. Let me add this. Let me double check if it's correct. And it is not. Alright, so what I need to do is I need to remove this part here. So I'm going to do another extrude. Excuse all my extrusion.